It's looking undeniable now that both Emu and the Gorosei have Devil Fruit powers. In chapter 1086, we can see that they transform into big creatures, but we're not able to tell what exactly they are because they're covered in silhouettes. Silhouette piece at it again. Now this brings us on to the question, what exactly are the Devil Fruit powers? We can tell that they're zone types, but what abilities could they have? How strong are the people that stand at the pinnacle of the world? Well, I've been cooking in my lab and I'm certain that I found the answer. So we got the reveal that each of the 5 Gorosei are named after each of the 5 planets which are worshipped as gods in Roman mythology. And each of them hold a title. But there's something very important to note. Each of the Gorosei's titles or area of specialization do not align with the attributes that are associated with the corresponding Roman gods of those planets. Instead, it looks like Oda's mixed some of them up. For example, Saint Topman, that name sounds so sus, but Saint Topman Valkyrie is the god of justice. However, Mercury, which is the planet he's named after, was not associated with justice or law. Instead, he was associated with finance. And it was Gorosei Gandhi that was given the title of god of finance, even though he's named after Venus, who is associated with love. Everything's just all jumbled up, but it's very important that you guys keep this in mind throughout this video. Now in chapter 1086, in this moment, we can see that the Gorosei have transformed and were able to tell who is who judging by the positions they were standing in earlier to this moment. So with that being said, going from left to right, we have Saturn, Shepherd Jupiter, Gorosei Gandhi, Marcus Mars, and the main guy, Topman. My theory is that the Gorosei have zone-type devil fruits with the animals that were associated with the 5 planet gods in Roman mythology. And these are the animals that are associated with each planet god. Mercury is associated with a tortoise, Venus a swan, Mars a wolf or a vulture, Jupiter a bull, and Saturn a serpent. And now when you keep this in mind and you take a look at the silhouettes, all of them match up. We have J. Garcia Saturn as a bull, Shepherd Jupiter as a tortoise, Gorosei Gandhi as a serpent, Marcus Mars as a swan, and Topman as a wolf or a vulture. Now I'm not too sure about Topman, this could be the wings of a vulture or the fangs of a wolf. Like I was saying earlier about everything being jumbled up, the animals which they've transformed into do not correspond with the animals that are associated with the planet they're named after. Honestly, I just think that Oda got their names, titles and devil fruit powers, mixed them all up and picked them from a hat. But now this leads us to the question of what each of their individual abilities will be. Will they also be jumbled up? I'm gonna say that the Gorosei will have abilities associated with the planet where their animal counterpart is derived from. Therefore, since J. Garcia Saturn is a bull, which is derived from Jupiter, aka Zeus, J. Garcia Saturn will have the abilities associated with Zeus. Therefore, I think that J. Garcia Saturn will be able to control the weather, storms, or even lightning to some extent. I know we already have characters like Enel and perhaps Dragon who can do something similar, but perhaps Saturn has a unique fighting style which we will hopefully see on Egghead. Now, Shepherd Jupiter, who's a tortoise, is a very interesting one. The tortoise is associated with Mercury, aka Hermes. You may be thinking, hold on, what's this Ninja Turtle-ass guy supposed to do? Well, these are the powers associated with the god of Mercury, aka Hermes. He's known for his superhuman speed and reflexes, being a master communicator, and also being able to travel between realms. It would literally be a typical Oda moment having a turtle being one of the fastest beings in the One Piece universe. Since one of his abilities is being a master communicator, I think that Shepherd Jupiter will be able to communicate with anyone or anything. Essentially, he may have something similar to the voice of all things, and he'll be able to travel through different dimensions similar to Bluno. Next, since Gorosei Gandhi has a serpent fruit which is linked to the planet Saturn, aka Kronos, he will have the following abilities. Gorosei Gandhi will be able to control time to some extent and also manipulate the fate of others. Now, when I say that he'll be able to control time, I'm not saying that he'll be able to do it to the same extent that Toki did. Essentially, I think that he will have some sort of buffed up version of future sight. Not only do I think he'll be able to see further into the future, but I think he'll be able to manipulate the outcome that he sees accordingly. His abilities may also consist of something similar to Giorno's from JoJo's, where he's able to remove the effect from the cause. But I don't think he will have this because it will just be way too OP. When you combine this ability with his sword skills, bro is definitely one of the strongest Gorosei members. Whoever ends up fighting Gorosei Gandhi will need top tier speed and future sight. Now Marcus Mars is a swan which is linked to the planet Venus, aka Aphrodite. Now Aphrodite's abilities consist of beauty manipulation, love inducement, charm and enchantment, and since Marcus Mars isn't really the good looking type and we've already seen this power with Boa Hancock, I don't think he will have exactly this. I think that Marcus Mars will be able to control the emotions of his opponent, making it very difficult for them to fight. I think he will literally be able to afflict people with their worst nightmares, which lowers their will to fight and therefore lowers their haki. So whoever ends up fighting Marcus Mars will need to have very strong willpower. Now for everyone's favourite, Topman. Now Topman has the animal of a wolf or a vulture, but both of them are associated with the planet Mars, aka Aries. Now taking Aries' abilities into account, Topman would be a very formidable warrior, having immense physical strength and durability. He's likely a master of all forms of combat and fighting styles, and also an incredible tactician. Anyways, this has been my theory on what I think the Gorosei's Devil Fruit abilities are. You may be thinking, hold on, what's Emu's Devil Fruit power? Well, that's a discussion for a whole nother video. Anyway, leave your theory in the comments. I'm gonna end this video here and I'll see you guys next time.